Here's the LuminTop FW3A and Emisar D4. Wanted to give you all a size comparison between these two. I'm not really comparing the two. You got 3 LED and 4 LED and different tint between these two. We'll go into that in a little bit. So it's not a comparison of power, it's more so a comparison of size. That way y'all can get an idea. In diameter, the D4 is going to be a little bit larger, as you can see. In height, they're going to be the same. There's the side switch with the D4, whereas the FW3A has this metal switch on the back. Just wanted to give you all an idea the size of this FW3A. I went with 3D, which is 5000K tint in this FW3A. You're going to get to see the difference of 5000K and the Emisar D4, which is 6500K. This is going to be a warmer, more neutral tint. I am patiently waiting for the SST20 to come out. When it comes out, I'm going to grab it, and it'll be even a warmer tint. This thing has the electronic switch and sounds really cool. Good solid click. Listen. Don't know if that shows up in the camera or not, but ramping while this flashlight is on. I could triple press that right now, switch it over into stepping mode. Let me run y'all through some of these options. So now that the light is on, you can double press, go up into turbo. When the flashlight is off, you can double press and it'll come on high. Double press again, get up into turbo. While the flashlight is off, you can triple press and it blinks out the level of battery. Excuse me. Double press takes you into a candle mode. This is going to come on and be at this level of brightness and slowly get dimmer and dimmer until it finally turns off. It is a duration of 30 minutes for it to do that. And we'll double press and move on to beacon mode. Now in beacon mode, in order to have a certain level of lumen, you would have had your flashlight in the level of lumen that you wanted it to be in beacon mode. Let me show you what I'm talking about really quick. So I'm going to press, turn it off. We'll go ahead and turn the flashlight on into a lower setting. That's what I'm going to say I want it to be in on beacon mode. And then off, triple press, double up, there's sunset, there's beacon. You see how it's flashing in a lower lumen level now? If you wanted beacon mode to be in the highest setting, you would turn it off, go into turbo, and then it would flash in turbo. It would flash in the brightest setting. Now, I'm going to show you how to change the rate of flash. Press 4 times. Now it's waiting for me to enter in. I didn't do it quick enough. I'll go back to it. I was talking too much. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was waiting for me to enter in a number of presses. I pressed it 5 times, which means it's going to flash every 5 seconds. Every time you press it is a second for it to pause and wait for the next flash. So we're at a rate of every 5 seconds because I pressed it 5 times. You get it. Alright, moving on to the next thing. Next thing is temperature. It's flashing out the temperature that the flashlight is right now. in order to go into temperature regulation, I would press 4 times and it would buzz like it was a minute ago on beacon mode, and you would press out the temperature that it is in your ambient area, and then it would buzz again, and you would press out a number of times for regulation for the flashlight to shut off turbo in. A good number that I usually go with is 25 to 30. And you do need to do that when you first get your light, because these are being sent out with different parameters for the temperature regulation. One guy was even saying he couldn't even get his flashlight into turbo, it was set so low. So you do need to go ahead and set it a little bit higher. And then double press brings us back around to battery check. So the next one I'll run y'all through is we'll triple press and hold, and that just brought us into the strobe settings. So in these strobe settings, you can adjust that strobe right there. You can adjust that rate of pulsation by holding down. See how it sped up? Double press and hold, and slows the rate down. Double press takes us into the next strobe pattern, which is going to be lightning mode. It just randomly flashes out and kind of looks like a lightning storm. Double press again, takes us into candle mode. You can increase the brightness of that or decrease. This is nice with a nice light distributor and a good warm tint. Kind of looks like a candle. Double press again, brings us into bike mode. It's constant light with a pulsation of strobe to kind of catch people's attention. And again, you see how I'm adjusting the level of brightness. And then this is a more dim strobe pattern, a little bit more dim than the other one. And you can adjust the rate as well. I like that they let you adjust the rate like that. It's a lot of fun. And then there's the really bright one. The next thing that I'm going to show you is lockout mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's locked out. The reason I want to show you this is because with this light, it comes on in moonlight mode when you press the tail switch. You press the button, it comes on, and then goes off when you release. I like that because then that, number one, lets me know that I'm in lockout mode, and number two, you do have a little bit of light should you need it without having to unlock it. And then next, we'll go into Muggle mode. May have done something wrong. Okay, I went into momentary. So what momentary on is it is going to do the same thing that lockout mode is, but you can't take it out of this. The only way you can take it out of momentary on and off is by loosening the tail cap. Or in this case, I guess I should cover, they don't want you putting the battery into the light through this on account of that clip being right there, and there's a couple O-rings behind there. When you first get your light, you're gonna have a little card that says go through the light itself in order to get the battery put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and release this. The other thing I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you about, I didn't know if I had the right kind of battery in there or not. I'm running a Samsung 30Q button top. I put in some other different types of batteries like a Sony VT-C6 and a Samsung 30Q flat top. All of them work fine. No issues whatsoever. Everything's working great. What I wasn't doing wrong for the first minute of having this light is I wasn't screwing it down tight enough. I was being a little too gentle with it. Go ahead and really tighten it up good and you won't have any issues whatsoever. Now, we're going to do 6 presses, because 5 was the momentary on and off. 6 presses is Muggle Mode, and what Muggle Mode means is I can hand this light to somebody right now and they can't turn turbo on. They can just ramp it up and down. The highest it's going to get is about that right there. It's not hot at all, not even warm. So this is a good mode to go into if you're going to hand this light to your buddy and you don't want them to mess anything up. Personally, I'm not handing this light out to anybody, so I'm probably never going to use that. It's kind of mean, I know. Now it's nighttime, and I've got these 2 lights set up at the lowest lumen, the moonlight mode. The one on the right is the FW3A. See the 3 little LEDs. And the one on the left is the D4 that we were looking at earlier today. The tint is pretty obvious between those two, what you're dealing with. The D4 is the 6500K, and then with the FW3A I went with the 3D, which is 5000K. That was closest to what I wanted for the time, and like I was saying, SST20 is coming out pretty soon and I'm going to grab that one too. I really like the neutral tint that these LEDs are offering. So let's go ahead and step it up, see what they look like in turbo. I'm going to start with the D4, give you an idea what it looks like. And again, this is just for referencing. That way you have an idea. That is the D4 in turbo. And then I'll bring up the FW3A in turbo. And the user interface is close to the same on these 2 lights. Double press for turbo. Those 2 are pretty similar. Let me see if I can't get both of them going at the same time. So now on the right is going to be the D4, and on the left is the FW3A. Again, difference in tint, so you're going to have difference in lumen. I'm sure there's people on here that know a lot more about that than I do, but you'll wind up having a brighter light with the 6500K. I just love what this natural tint does for colors and everything. Just really pops everything out. Really brings the colors around. Let's look up these monster pine trees here. This again is the FW3A. Looking at, I guess, a 40 to 45 foot tall pine tree. I'm a terrible judge of height and distance, but I do know that those trees are massive, and it's lighting them up pretty good. Not bad for something coming out of the pocket. Definitely attracting the bugs. Alright, I appreciate y'all watching, and if you got any questions, hit it up in the comments.